thought was maybe going to be a little bit of a dicey situation has turned into actually a beautiful night for baseball. The clouds have mostly gone away. The sun is out. The wind, there's enough wind to keep the bugs away. It's just a great to play baseball.
You got a jacket on too. You're a little chilly.
Yeah, I'm over here just outside of the press box in the shade, and so I just need a little bit to warm me up. So yeah, I got my jacket on. I'm preparing for later on tonight when the sun actually goes down.
And as a Southeast Missouri homegrown boy, wearing your jacket in July is the oddest thing that don't think I've ever had to do in my entire life. Ever put a jacket on in July, but here we are in South Dakota, and it's not a far-fetched idea that you have to wear. You have to put some kind of long sleeve jacket or hoodie or sweatshirt on in July.
Yeah, you just haven't been up north long enough, John.
We went through a couple warm days last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where it was getting in the 90s. The dew point was pretty high. The humidity was pretty high. And everybody was really complaining about it and saying how hot it was. And I said, this is an average July day. I mean, this is a below average July day for Southeast Missouri. I don't know why everybody's complaining so much. This is it's not nice compared to Pierre, South Dakota, and just in general South Dakota, but to Southeast Missouri, those people coming up, they would think, oh, this is great.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, the way those dew points have run and certainly have run a lot this year, that we've seen a lot of dew points in the 60s and 70s, and that's when it certainly gets muggy and almost tropical, and as a result of that, when you get a front that moves through, you tend to break loose with a level of storm activity, and we've certainly seen that over the last couple of weeks. You and the rest of the crew at KCCR have done yeoman's work in keeping everybody informed of severe weather alerts, warnings, watches, and so to get a nice day like this gives everybody a break and lets us play some baseball.
And thank goodness we got some baseball here tonight. The first pitch from Chase Mason misses low for ball one. We're underway here at 7:24 in game number 2. Post State looking for the sweep over Harrisburg as they won the first game 8-2. The 1-0 pitch, that one is at the knees, and is now 1-1 to Garrett Stout, who had 2 hits in that win in game number 1. Went 2 for 5 in the ball game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Stout will swing and miss on an all-speed pitch, and it's now 1-2. Mason will look like he can really get those pitches in different speeds, really change speeds on you as the 1-2 pitch comes in to Stout. And there's a swing and a miss, and there's a first strike of the ball game to the leadoff hitter in Stout. And there's one down. That'll bring up Lincoln Keenels. As we go through the stats for Chase Mason, 31 innings as he's gotten that third of an inning. An ERA of 1.59, a whip of 0.94, as the first pitch is missed for ball one. He is 2-1 on the season. This is his 7th start of the year. Has given up 16 hits, 7 earned runs, as Keenels will chop that one foul. And it's now 1-1.
And through the first handful of pitches, what you notice about Chase Mason is first of all, he does not come out of the windup. He works only out of the stretch, but he gets good velocity coming out of the stretch, and looks like he has an ability to spot both his fastball, which is gonna, from looks up here, and we don't have a radar gun on him, but looks like he's gonna be right around that 90 mark. He also has an ability to spot that curveball, which he's thrown effectively early in this first inning.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a curveball that will hit the helmet of Keenels, and it's going to be a one-out base runner as the curveball came in, and it'll be the first base runner of the ball game. Keenels was trying to duck out of the way, and the ball was starting to curve back in towards the strike zone. I'm surprised. Obviously, Keenels was trying to get out of the way of it, but he almost put himself in position to get hit instead of trying to take himself out of getting hit.
Yeah, and luckily that didn't do any extra damage. I mean, anytime you get a ball that is up around the head, I mean, not only do you have some issues in terms of, even if it does hit the helmet, but potentially ricocheting off the bill of the helmet, coming down into the face, and so Keenholz showed no effects of that. So luckily, it doesn't look like he's got any issues. And again, that's why you wear a batting helmet.
Yeah, it looked like it almost did more damage to the umpires. He's trying to stretch out maybe where he got hit in the arm after it hit Keenholz. So the umpire might have taken the worst out of all that, and Keenholz is the one that got hit in the helmet. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Coverdale. That'll be fouled off the catcher, and it's now 1-1.
And when you're facing a pitcher again, with kind of like what we talked about earlier with Simmons in game number 1, what you really are looking for is you're just coming into the plate and you got to come in with a plan, but you really are looking for just one good pitch. I mean, and you got to be aggressive, and you've got to go up looking for. You probably either have to look for either a fastball or a curveball and kind of decide which one you want to try to hit and see which one you get in any particular place in the at bat.
Pitch was in the dirt, says Keenholz steals second. And he is going to get there, and he toppled over himself diving into second base. Looked like maybe that the dirt didn't give way to Keenholz trying to slide through it. Ended up going right over the top of it, and he's safe at second. Just barely safe at second without a throw. And the count is now 2-1. Mason comes set from the stretch. Here's the 2-1. That's over for strike 2 in the outside corner, and it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Andy Gordon. Coverdale went 1 for 4 with an RBI in game 1. He got the first run of the ball game in with an RBI single. 2-2 pitch. That one is outside, now 3-2. Both Coverdale, the umpire, and the catcher all kind of flinched like it was going to be strike 3. Well, it ends up being ball 3, and the count is full. Keenholz is on at second. Mason will come set from the stretch. Here's the 3-2. That one will miss, and it's a one-out walk. And the
Coverdale,
second and third man in the order have reached base without having to put the ball in play. And here's Andy Gordon.
And again, early on here, just like in game number 1, given an opportunity, Post State has to take advantage of this. You got runners first and second with 1 out against a very good pitcher. So you got 2 opportunities here in Gordon and River Iverson to potentially plate a run or 2 and hopefully take an early lead.
So here is Gordon, who is at 1 for 4, reached base twice in game 1. First pitch is inside for ball 1. Mason, again, his whip is under 1, and as Greg's son Bradley called him a big nerd when he was talking about what the whip meant, that means, with being under 1, that he's allowing less than 1 guy on base through a walk and hit by a pitch. That one's through on the right side. That one's down for a base hit. Rounding third is Keenholz. He's going to come around. The throw of the plate is not going to be in time. Gordon's going to take second on the throw, and that's a 1-0 lead on the RBI single from Andy Gordon.
Yeah, just a ball, and again, Gordon is a right-handed hitter with the velocity that Mason brings to the plate, just stayed on the pitch and was able to slice a hard ground ball right down the right field line past the first baseman, and Keenholz off on the pitch was able to score standing up, and then as the throw came through from Rollinger out in right field, came through all the way to home plate, Gordon again alertly takes advantage of the throw coming all the way through and advances to second. So now the Eights have runners second and third, both in scoring position with 1 out yet.
That one will go off the catcher's glove, and coming in to score will be Coverdale, and it's now 2-0 here for Post State, and Gordon is over at third base. As that one was just misplayed by Long, that goes down as a pass ball, and it's now 1-1 to River Iverson. And Mason is trying to get out of this jam here quickly, because all of a sudden the first strikeout, it looked like he was going to cruise through the first 2 hitters, end up hitting Keenholz, walked Coverdale, and then the base hit. Now Iverson will ground to the right side. That one's past the first baseman, and that one's through for a base hit, and it's now a 3-0 lead here for Post State in the top of the first inning with 1 down.
Yeah, and just a ground ball to the right side that probably, it would have been iffy as to whether Iverson would have scored or not, because it was a ground ball right at the first baseman, but the first baseman Sutton tried to make a backhanded play on the ball and just squirted under his glove into right field, and now the Eights have plated their 3rd run of the inning and now are out 3-0 and still only 1 out.
The first pitch is outside to Cade Hinkle for ball 1. In game 1, Hinkle went 1 for 3, reached base twice, pickoff attempt, just diving back in safely as Iverson. Post State leading 3-0 here in game number 2, here at the top of the first inning with just 1 down. 2 hits to the right side for Gordon and Iverson. Pickoff attempt again, and back in safely as Iverson. try to finish that point with the whip of Mason being under one. It means he's allowing less than one guy to get on base an inning. He's more times than not getting a 1, 2, 3 inning, and here Post State has put up a 3 spot in the top of the first inning. Iverson's off with the pitch. The throw towards second. Sliding and in safely is Iverson at second. And Hinkle took ball 2. And the second baseman and Weedy thought that he had Iverson easily out at second base.
Yeah, I think Weedy thought he had the tag and had him retired, as well as Rayburn out in center field. Yeah, he saw the call and just put his arms out to the sides like I thought. Rayburn thought the out was recorded at second base as well.
The 2-0 catches the corner. Now 2-1 to Cade Hinkle. The 6th man to come to the plate. Post State has a 3-0 lead. Another runner in scoring position here. 2-1's the count with 1 down in the top of the first. The 2-1 pitch. That one just misses upstairs, and it's now 3-1. I had a lot of movement on that one from where we sit behind home plate in the press box. Mason will come set. Here's the 3-1 to the catcher, Hinkle. That one is over at the letters. It's now 3-2. On deck is Matt Lusk, the center fielder. 1 down here at the top of the first. Iverson leads away from second. Mason comes set, delivers a payoff pitch upstairs, and down to first will be Hinkle. The third of free pass issued here in the inning by Chase Mason. And here's Matt Lusk. Lusk went 0 for 3 in game 1. Post State has got their 7th hitter to come to the plate. First pitch to Lusk is over for strike 1.
And the upside for Post 8 right now is not only do they have three runs up on the board, but they're making Mason work hard here early. This is already his 26th pitch of the first inning.
Lusk will pop it up, foul and out of play, and it's now 0-2 here to the center fielder. Boy, to put Mason, who threw 8 innings in one game, so that means that's how quickly he moved through those innings. He was able to go all 8 innings. In a game, and here he's closing in on 30 pitches in the first inning. 0-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side, fielded by the shortstop. He'll take it to the bag himself for 1. The throw to first is not in time. Iverson is cut off between third and home. He'll try and get back in, and he's going to be thrown out, as Iverson maybe thought that was going to be the third out of the inning, and he's thrown out in an unconventional double play to end the top of the first. But Post State does score 3 runs on 2 hits in the inning. No errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played a half inning. Post State leads 3-0 as Harrisburg comes to the plate. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here in the bottom of the first inning, Tyson Kogel lead things off, playing short. Zeb Weedy is the second baseman, batting second. Peyton Metzger will bat third, playing third base. Tyson Long is catching, batting fourth. Jack Rayburn is the center fielder, batting fifth. Chase Mason, the pitcher, batting sixth. Jack Sutton, the first baseman, batting seventh. Ethan Rollinger, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Jack Tigan will round out the order. There's the first pitch that will be chopped foul on a half swing by Tyson Kogel. And the way he hit that one down the third base line is probably better for Post State to end up going foul. because Kogel probably would have had an infield single.
Yeah, Kogel just a defensive half swing as the ball came in on the pitch came in on the inner corner, on the inside corner, and Kogel just like I said, kind of a defensive swing and didn't mean to make contact, but did, and like you said, almost was like a perfectly played bunt initially, and fortunately for Post 8 it goes foul.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's popped up on the left side. Going back on his Stout, coming in on his Iverson. He'll call for it. He has a dive, and he made the catch. Iverson will dive and make the catch. There is no signal from any of the umpires. And he is called out. So there is no signal from any umpire. And Kogel is standing on second, and Iverson makes a fantastic diving catch out in left field.
Yeah, the field umpire was trailing the runner, Kogel, into second base, and usually that's his call to make, and he did not make a call. Actually, it was the home plate umpire who made the out call, and it was the right call because Iverson made the catch from what I could tell, and I didn't see the ball pop out or hit the ground. So the Eights get an out on the leadoff batter.
There's a ground ball to the left side off the diving glove of Keen Olsen into left field for a one-out single for Zeb Weedy. And there's the first hit of the ball game, and that'll bring in Peyton Metzger, the third baseman here in game number 2.
And when we've seen Jack Van Camp pitch, he's been most effective when he's been able to get a strike zone that is maybe just a little bit wide, able to work that outside corner. Being a left-hander, he likes to work that outside corner to right-handed hitters.
First pitch, Metzger will drop down a bunt, and that will roll foul. Metzger 1 for 2 in game 1. He singled home the first run of the ball game for Harrisburg, and then he struck out swinging in the 5th and was on with 2 different walks in the 3rd and 7th inning.
For Van Camp, this is his 7th appearance of the year. All starts, all 7 of them have been starts. 27 innings pitched. He's 2-3 on the year. 35 strikeouts to go with a 3.37 ERA.
There's an outside corner taken for strike 2 to Metzger, the left-handed hitting third baseman. So Van Camp had to go the opposite side across his body for that outside corner. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Van Camp gets a strikeout of Metzger, and there's now 2 down. As we go around the horn defensively for Post 8, River Iverson out left field, Matt Lusk is in center, and A.J. Gaden in right field. Lincoln Keenels at third base, Garrett Stout at short, Andrew Coverdale at second, Andy Gordon at first, and Kate Hinkle behind the plate, as Van Camp has 2 down and will face the catcher and the number 4 hitter, Tyson Long. First pitch is grounded foul for strike 1. Timon Long. As the count is 0-1. Long in game 1 went 0 for 2. He walked twice. Also popped out on the left side in his 2 putouts. Count is 0-1 here to the catcher Long. Van Camp will come set from the stretch. He'll step off. And might have got away with the ball. It looked like his right leg flinched before he stepped off with his left leg. The Harrisburg bench saw it, but the 2 umpires did not. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is just inside, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not real well versed in the balk rule, but I even saw that one.
And in my bad eyes, even saw that from up here. Van Camp will come set from the stretch. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's over, and now 1-2. And Van Camp also has to be a little bit careful here to make sure he comes completely set. Otherwise, that could be a balk as well. 1-2 is the count here at the bottom of the first inning. Van Camp comes set from the stretch. Runner is off with a pitch. That one will come inside and ends up hitting Long, and he is on at first. And there's now
Timon Long is hit by pitch.
2 on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and here's Jack Rayburn. Rayburn went 0 for 3. He walked in the 5th inning, but was retired in the other 3 at-bats. As Van Camp will have to work from the stretch again here with 2 down. The first pitch to Rayburn is outside for ball 1.
And much like we do in Pierre, here comes the train just right by the left field fence or the right field fence, and so if you're a Post 8 fan, this will make you feel at home.
The 1-0 is on the outside corner now, 1-1.
that's a good sign for Post State. The right-handed hitter Rayburn looked at a curveball from Van Camp that just he likes to throw that backdoor curveball over to right-handed hitters and just have it break over the outside corner. And if he can get that call all night, Jack Van Camp will be in a good position. He'll work that outside corner all night long.
Count is 2-1 here to Rayburn. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one will miss low. 3-1 as the train blows his horn right as Van Camp's throwing a pitch. I heard that a lot, too, in Minot last year. Didn't hear it so much this past season or this past couple weekends ago. Count is 3-1. That one will miss outside, and it's a 2-out walk and the second free pass of the inning, and the bases are now loaded here with one down.
Pitcher, number 24.
And that'll bring in Chase Mason, who with one swing could give Harrisburg a lead here in the bottom of the first inning. And being Chase Mason to the plate, it's quite possible that could happen.
Yeah, and if he's certainly in a situation where he could go a long ways towards helping himself out with 2 outs and the bases loaded, runners will be off with contact.
First pitch misses inside for ball 1. Hinkle had a quick mound visit with Jack Van Camp. The left-hander towing the far left side of the rubber. The third base side, there's a line shot to right field. A.J. Gaden will turn and watch it go off the wall. 1 run will score. A second run is going to come around to score. A third run's coming around, and this game is tied with 1 swing of the bats. With just 2 hits in the inning, Chase Mason has tied the ball game up at 3 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Van Camp, that's what 2-out walks will come back to haunt you with is you allow those runners free passes on base, and then you put yourself in a situation to face a hitter who in Mason's terms was due, having struck out 4 times in the first game. You knew he was probably going to connect at some point, and unfortunately for Post State, he did with the bases loaded. So
it is a 1-0 count here to Jack Sutton. The 1-0 is over, and now it's 1-1.
If you're wondering, Jack Sutton, the first baseman for Harrisburg, the son of John Sutton, Pierre native, and grandson of Matt Sutton.
That one's out towards right field, going down the right field line. That drops in for another hit. So it's going to be another double, and it's a 4-3 lead for Harrisburg. Post State opened up a 3-0 lead, but Harrisburg storms right back, and they score 4 runs in the last 2 at-bats, and they lead 4-3 here in the bottom of the first inning.
And again, with Post State facing 6 games in 4 days later on this weekend, you really are hoping to get an extended start out of Jack Van Camp here in game number 2. You really want to save as many arms as possible, just because of the burden that you're going to put on all of your arms later on this weekend. So what you really are looking for is just is some kind of an extended outing out of Jack Van Camp, and right now he is at 21 pitches through 2/3 of an inning. But like you said, he's given up 3 hits and 4 runs, all of them earned so far.
Here's Ethan Rollinger after a quick visit from Peyton Zabel. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Peyton told me that he is the director of pitcher development. He's not the pitching coach. He's the director of pitcher development. He reminded me that when I said something about him being the pitching coach. As the 1-0 is a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-1.
Is that a self-anointed title that he has?
I think maybe I guess he's self-anointed that himself. I don't know. The 1-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2. I'm not going to argue with him, though. I'm going to lose any fight that I get into with Peyton. So I'm not in any position to try and tell him that he's wrong.
Well, and the work that he's done with this Post State pitching staff over the last year and a half has certainly resulted in a lot of positive benefits for Post State. And so I think whatever he decides he wants to call himself, I think he can take that title.
Count is 1-2 here to Ethan Rollinger. That next pitch, swing and a miss, and Van Camp comes back to get a strikeout to end the inning. 8 men come to the plate, 4 men score on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've played just 1 inning, but we've got 7 runs with a 4-3 lead for Harrisburg. You listen to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here at the top of the second inning, we have a 4-3 lead for Harrisburg over Post State, as it is 8-9-1. McGuire Rasky, A.J. Gaden, and Garrett Stout to lead things off. As Chase Mason, who struggled in that first inning, still gets to come out here in the top of the second with the lead. And that's big for Chase to come out after not throwing his best, and a guy that's used to having some very short innings. 1, 2, 3 innings, doesn't have a whole lot of pressure on him when he's on the mound because he doesn't give up a whole lot. What could have been a 3-0 lead going to the top of the second, he now walks out in the lead, walks on the mound and has a lead here in the top of the second. As the first pitch comes into McGuire Rasky, just outside for ball one.
Yeah, Rasky is 8th game of the year after coming back from elbow issues, and like I think we've talked about, he's just a batter now only.
And he'll go the other way with a base hit to lead off the top of the second. And McGuire Rasky, we've seen him do that here, whether it's a timing issue right now, trying to get back in the swing of things, or if he's just looking to go the other way, because all of his hits so far this past weekend and since he's come back have all been to the left side and going the other way.
Yeah, and I think it's probably he's just got a little bit of rust he needs to shake off.
Gaden will foul the first pitch back. A.J. Gaden in game number 1 in that number 9 spot, just like he is here in game number 2. As we look back to see what he did, he went 1 for 3. He reached base all 3 times. He reached on an error twice. As there's a pickoff attempt and diving back in safely as Rasky.
Gaden coming into the night prior to game 1, hitting .339, 21 hits and 62 at bats. He's got 3 doubles, 9 RBIs, 15 runs scored.
Another pickoff attempt and back in safely as Rasky over at first. Garrett Stout is on deck. He's looking for a reprieve after he struck out swinging, and then Post State went on to score 3 runs after his first out of the inning. The 0-1 is over for strike 2, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Gaden. Good off-speed pitch there from Mason. That catches his zone. And now Gaden's got to protect down 0-2 in the count. Mason will come set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Gaden will foul it off of his leg and stays at 0-2.
Yeah, and you can see that Mason has an ability to spot that curveball, which really becomes effective if he's able to keep hitters off balance with that top-notch fastball, and then able to spot that curveball as a second pitch.
0-2 pitch. Gaden will chase. He'll drive it ground it to the third baseman for a 1 at second, but no chance at first, so it'll be going down as a fielder's choice. And there's now 1 down here in the top of the second, and that'll bring in Garrett Stout.
Yeah, curveball there at 1-2 to Gaden, and he just kind of reached out on that off speed pitch and just kind of tapped it down the line to third base, and Betzger was able to glove it and able to retire Rasky, the lead runner, at second, and so they still have something going here, but now they got 1 out.
Here's Garrett Stout. He'll ground the first pitch to the right side. It'll be fielded by the second baseman. Nobody's there. The foot race to first, and Chase Mason couldn't beat Garrett Stout over the bag, and it's a 1-out single on the infield hit for Garrett Stout. As the first baseman, Sutton, went after it. The second baseman and Weedy had to throw it over to Mason, and Stout's got some speed, as we saw on the football field and see here on the baseball diamond as well.
Yeah, and Mason was late breaking off of the mound, and because of that, if Mason breaks towards first immediately, he's probably in position to take that throw from Weedy, and Stout's probably retired, but he got that late break off the mound, and because of that, Stout was able to leg out that infield hit.
Here's Lincoln Keenholz. He was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the top of the first inning. First pitch to him is a swing and a miss, and so on. That's a big cut there from the soon-to-be sophomore in Keenholz. And in hopes of a football season, could be that guy that would be the starting quarterback in week 1 for the Pierre Governors. The 0-1 misses low, and it's now 1-1.
Keenholz coming into the night hitting .230 on the year, 17 hits, 74 at bats. He's got 5 doubles, 12 RBIs, 9 runs scored on the year for the rising sophomore.
The 1-1 is on the outside corner, now 1-2 here to Keenholz. Andrew Coverdale is on deck. Runner in scoring position. That is A.J. Gaden over at second. Stout is on at first. Here's the 1-2. Keenholz will chop it foul. Boy, he got a very late swing and a protection swing If there's ever a protection swing, that's probably a textbook protection swing. Just trying to find a way to get a piece of the ball.
Yeah, and that's very similar to the ball that Kogel hit to lead off the game for Harrisburg. Just a ball that got in on the hands and just a half swing to protect and try to stay alive at the at bat.
Keenels will foul the 1-2 pitch off, and it remains at 1-2 as that one goes out of play. Mason will come set from the stretch. Here's the 1-2. Keenels again will foul away, and a good battle here from Keenels and Mason with one down in the top of the second inning. Post State trailing 4-3. First time that Harrisburg has had a lead in these two games. After trailing 3-0 in the top of the first, Keenels will swing and a miss and a pitch in the dirt. The throw to second and sliding back in safely is Gaden. There's now 2 down. And it'll bring up to Andrew Coverdale to try and tie the ball game up with a base hit.
Yeah, Long not afraid to show off the arm and tried to backpick Gaden, who had gotten a pretty healthy secondary lead coming off of second base, and Long not afraid to show off the arm and made a close play at second.
First pitch to Coverdale is at the letters on the corner on the outside, and it's now 0-1. Coverdale walked, came around to score on the RBI single from River Iverson, which made it a 2-0 lead. Actually made it a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and just a position here with 2 outs and runners on first and second, where Andrew Coverdale really doesn't try to. You really shouldn't try to do too much. Just try to put the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, and make Harrisburg make a play.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Coverdale. That one will bounce in. It's now 2-1. The throw is going to go to second, and Gaden's going to take third. As Long had Gaden caught in between second and third, and he threw it straight to second base, and Gaden had no hesitation and took third base. So now he is 90 feet away from tying the ball game up. In that situation, you got to run it towards him or just let him go back to second, because that throw was too far away to try and get Gaden back out at second. Here's the 2-1. There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded by the second baseman. Bobble, the throw to first is in time, and that will retire the side here in the top of the second inning. No run score on a 1 hit, 2 hits in the inning. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. After an inning and a half, Harrisburg still has a 4-3 lead over the Eights. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Jack Tigan will start things off here in the bottom of the second inning as Jack Van Camp delivers the first pitch outside for ball 1. 9-1-2. Tigan, Kogel, and Weedy to lead things off for Harrisburg with a 4-3 lead. The first time they're coming to the plate in the bottom half of an inning with a lead here in this doubleheader. The 1-0 is cut on and missed, and it's 1-1 to the left fielder in Tigan in game number 1. And for Harrisburg, Tigan went 1 for 2 as they check over at first, and he did not swing and is now 2-1. Tigan doubled, but was stranded on at second in his lone hit. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled back right over the top of Greg, and it's now 2-2.
Yeah, I was a little too tall for me. I wasn't able to grab that one.
The go-go gadget arm still not working for you. I guess the legs could have worked that time. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's on the outside corner, just missing. Van Camp was looking for it, didn't get it. And the count is now full.
Yeah, and if he can get that outside corner consistently called by the home plate umpire, that's what makes Jack Van Camp really effective.
And the 3-2 is slipping down the hands of Van Camp, and it's a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Tyson Kogel, who flew out to the left fielder Iverson on the diving catch to open up the bottom of the first inning. So the leadoff man is aboard here in the bottom of the second, and Van Camp will have to quickly work from the stretch. He'll come set. Here's the first pitch to Kogel. That one's over for strike one. Kogel so far here going into the second game, he is 1 for 3 with a solo shot. The 0-1. Curveball just missing inside, and it's now 1-1. And Van Camp not showing any emotion, but probably in his head pleading with the home plate umpire to try and give him one of those last 2 curveballs that have just missed. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That will miss outside, and it's now 2-1.
Yeah, and Kogel, as a left-handed batter, we saw him in the first at bat with that defensive swing that almost ended up being a well-placed bunt, but he's got good speed going down the line. It will be tough for post 8 to double him up.
2-1 pitch. That one is missed high and outside, and it's now 3-1. And Van Camp does not want to walk the first 2 hitters here. But it's a good hitters count here for Kogel, who's already got 1 home run today. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Kogel is looking for that second home run. And the count is now full here with nobody out. And we'll see if that runner in Tigan will be off with the pitch. Van Camp will come set. Here's the 3-2. Runner not moving, and it's inside for ball 4. And it's back-to-back walks here to open up the bottom of the second inning. No action in the bullpen yet here. And Greg, now we'll kind of talk about this as Van Camp's not having the stuff that he normally has. Do you think about maybe pulling him under that 2 days rest so he can come back and pitch on Friday against Post 22 and with the pitch count as a first pitch to Weedy as he swings and misses. Weedy was trying to make it a 7-3 ball game on that swing.
Yeah, in order to be the pitch count for 2 days rest is 60 pitches, and right now I think let me go back to my game changer.
There's a ground ball to the third baseman Keenels. And Keenels will throw it over to first, and it's going to be a double play, but Weedy did not take off for first base, so it's going to be a 5-3 double play. And the umpires now will come together and talk about it. Weedy didn't move out of the box, which is usually a sign that it is off of him. And now Coach White will call time, and he will talk with the base umpire to ask him what he saw and why they are going to call it a foul ball.
Yeah, and like you said, Weedy didn't move out of the box, which is probably some level indication he thought it was a foul ball, but the home plate umpire didn't make a call, and then the field umpire didn't make a call, and so when Keenholz fielded the ball, stepped on third, and then threw to first, the field umpire made both out calls. I mean, so he didn't make a foul call.
Yeah.
So you gotta wonder what kind of conversation went on between both umpires when neither one of them made a foul call.
Because usually that field umpire will make that foul ball call if he sees that right away as well. But instead, here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is taken for strike 3, and Weedy will still be retired, but there's only 1 down instead of 2 outs. And it's the third strikeout of the ball game here for Van Camp. And that'll bring in Peyton Metzger, who is the first strikeout victim of Van Camp. Here's the first pitch. That one's skied out in the left field, and we'll get out of play. And actually hop off the fence and come right back towards the third base dugout. I thought maybe it was going to get close to the T-ball game going on to our left.
Yeah,
1 is missed low, now 1-1.
we're here in the Harrisburg baseball complex. The Post 8 and Harrisburg Legion teams playing on the big field, but there are multiple little league and pee wee and t-ball games going on all around us. It's like we talked about, John. It's a great night for baseball, and there's lots of baseball being played right around us.
2-1 pitch. That one will come inside and just miss off the inside part of the plate. Now 3-1. Hyman Long is on deck, the cleanup hitter, and Van Camp is in danger of walking the bases loaded. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's now 3-2. This is a big important pitch here from Van Camp.
Yeah, you don't want to walk the bases loaded with the number 4 hitter in the lineup coming up.
3-2 is just fouled, and Hinkle unable to make the catch. One goes off the chest protector of Hinkle, and it remains a full count. And one that's very tough to catch, and don't blame Hinkle for not making the catch, but one that looks like it's a lot easier than what it is. The 3-2 just misses inside, and it's a one-out walk, and the bases are now loaded for the cleanup hitter in Hyman Long, who was hit by a pitch.
21, Hyman Long.
And end up coming around to score. Peyton Zabel will make his way out to talk with Jack Van Camp.
Director of Pitching Development, Peyton Zabel.
That's right. Got it right this time. Not the pitching coach, the Director of Pitching Development.
And he does a nice job working not only with the varsity pitchers, but he spends some time working with the pitchers at the lower levels in the Post 8 system. So, like I said, great opportunity for all of the Post 8 pitchers to garner and take part in the knowledge base that Peyton has been able to acquire over his time.
First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Hyman Long. I think he also said he's the base running coordinator.
Really?
Situational base running coordinator.
Okay. Well, taking on more duties is obviously looking for more pay.
There's a fly ball out towards right field. Gaden going back on it. He's not going to make the catch. Another 2 runs are going to score. Gets away from Gaden. 3 runs are going to come around to score. It's another 3 RBI double for Harrisburg in this ball game, and it's a 7-3 lead for the Tigers. Here with the 1 down in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, and just a ball that from the right-handed hitter was tailing away and tailing away from center fielder Matt Lusk into the right center field gap, and like we said, this field faces northeast, and so for the right fielder AJ Gaden, he's looking into and battling the sun as it's starting to set in the west, and so looked like maybe he had a little bit of trouble finding that ball, and again, a 2-out extra base hit clears the bases for Harrisburg, and now they're up 7-3 here in the bottom of the second.
And here's Jack Rayburn, who walked and came around to score in the first inning. That one misses outside. Now 2-0. We do have action in the bullpen here for Post 8. Trying to see who that is. Maybe Justin Toulette is getting warmed up for Post 8. That one is on the outside corner, and it's now 1-2. Here to Jack Rayburn. Chase Mason is on deck.
Actually, I think it's Bennett Dean warming up, John.
So here's the 1-2 that's grounded foul to the third base line. And potentially, as they call Kelly Stout over, who's got the game changer, to see how many pitches that Van Camp has. And that might be the idea, is saving Van Camp now for Friday against Post 22 if he stays under the 2 days rest. The 1-2 is outside, now 2-2. Here to Rayburn. Yeah, Bennett Dean is the man warming up here for the Eights. As Van Camp will deliver here the 2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to the right side. That's through for a base hit. A.J. Gaden will come up to field. Rounding third and trying to score is the runner, and he will score, and that is a Hyman Long. And it's now an 8-3 lead here for Harrisburg on the RBI single from Rayburn. And that'll bring in Chase Mason, who has the other 3 RBI double.
Yeah, I've got Van Camp at 54 pitches, and his day is done as Coach White crosses the line. And so with the second mound visit in the inning, Jack Van Camp's day is done, unfortunately.
We'll step aside for a minute, tell you what the changes are. You listen to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Benedine is on the mound here for Post State in the bottom of the second, trying to corral this ball game that quickly got out of hand for Post State. They're trailing by 5, so it's not completely gone. It's not, as I say, got out of hand. It's not out of reach by any means, but a lead that they had 3-0, and now Harrisburg has scored 8 times since then here just in the bottom of the second inning, and Dean's going to do some damage control as he comes into the ball game in the relief position for Jack Van Camp. But, Greg, as we talked about now, Van Camp out of the game early enough where he can come back on Friday on 2 days rest to now face potentially Post 22.
Yeah, and again, the strategy worked Saturday when Coach White was able to take Garrett Stout out of the game against Sioux Falls East after just 40 pitches, which allows him to pitch tonight, pitch very well. Got the win in game number 1. And now Jack Van Camp, unfortunately, not having the best of outings tonight, but now in a situation where he can come back and throw on Friday. And again, probably your number two pitcher in the order for Post 8 to take on, again, a South Dakota team, a big important game on Friday versus Post 22.
Here's Benedine's first pitch to Chase Mason. He'll swing and miss at the first one, and it's 0-1. Mason had a 3-run double with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning to give a 4-3 lead, a tie the ball game up at 3-3. It was an RBI double from Jack Sutton that gave Harrisburg the 4-3 lead. That one's fouled back to the netting, and it's now 0-2. And again, for Dean, it's, hey, throw strikes and make him hit it. And, if the game ends a little early on a 10-run rule, obviously there's still half of those runs to go, but limit the walks and make Harrisburg put the ball in play. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Dean. Runner is off, and it's going to be a hit by a pitch as Mason gets hit by a curveball. And it's now first and second here with 1 down.
Yeah, 0-2 hit by pitches are something that coaches just don't like to see. You get ahead in the count, you work hard to get there, and then a curveball gets away from you, and you give a free pass. And unfortunately, so now for Harrisburg, they've got runners first and second with 1 out.
Here is Jack Sutton, who got the go-ahead RBI in the bottom of the first inning. The swing and a miss. He was looking to make that an 11-3 ball game. These Harrisburg hitters, they don't get cheated out of too many swings.
No, they and every one of them, that we've seen so far, they've got a nice uppercut swing. They like to play that launch angle game and try to elevate the ball.
The count is now 1-1. That's over our heads. Our very simple minds. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That one's out towards right center field again. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Gaden will come up. He'll throw to the cutoff man, and staying at third base is going to be Rayburn, and the bases are now loaded. Here for Ethan Rollinger.
Single brings up left fielder number 6.
Bennett Dean, this is his 8th appearance on the year. 24 innings pitched so far. He is second on the team in both innings pitched and appearances. He has 4 starts on the year. He is 3-2, shares the team lead in wins with 3. Has 17 strikeouts to go with a 4.38 ERA.
First pitch to Rollinger is taken for strike 1. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He ended the bottom of the first inning. This is the 9th man to come to the plate here for Harrisburg. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's now 0-2, and Rollinger was trying to make it 12-3 on one swing.
Yeah, and again, I think you hit the nail on the head, John. You just want to go throw strikes, make Harrisburg put the ball in play, and see if you can get out of this inning.
0-2 is grounded foul down the third base bag, and it remains at 0-2. Post State again will play at 10:30 on Thursday, and then at 1 o'clock against Sioux Falls West. They'll play the post 320 shooters. That does not go against the seed points, as that one's outside. And it's not 1-2. It's just against South Dakota Class A Senior Legion teams that those seed points matter to. But they will play at 10:30 and then at 1 o'clock, as that one is skied out to left field, and that one will get out of play. And that was closing in on potentially being a 12-3 ball game. In post 320 shooters, I say 10:30, but I mean 11:30 Central Time, 10:30 Mountain Time. And then they will play the next game against Sioux Falls West. They'll play at 7 o'clock Friday and follow that one up with the post 22 hard hats, as that one's skied out to center field. Matt Lusk will range over into right center. He'll make the catch. 2 runners will tag, and it will now be as the runner's going to try and score. Keenels will bobble, and the other runner is going to score. So there's an error by Post State as the cutoff man was missed. Got underneath the glove of Gordon. Keenels bobbled it, and what could have been a sure out turns into a sacrifice fly, and 2 runs will score with an error, and it's now 10-3.
Yeah, just again, an unfortunate play and sort of a role reversal right now from game 1 to game 2. The errors that were biting Harrisburg in game 1 now, unfortunately, an error for Post State in game number 2 that allowed an extra run to score.
Runner was off for the pitch, and he will steal second, as the first pitch, I think, might have been taken for ball 1. It looked like it went almost right down the middle. Here's Dean. Will come set. Here's the next pitch. That one's out towards right field. A.J. Gayden will go into foul territory, and he's going to run out of room, or run out of time, I should say. And it's now a 1-1 count or an 0-2 count. See what
looks like it's 1-1 on the board.
As it is 1-1. Boy, that first pitch, maybe it was a little low, but that one looked like it was right there to Jack Tigan, who's the 10th hitter to come to the plate. Led off the second inning with a walk. Count is now 2-1.
Yeah, and again, you just need to limit the damage right now. Get out of this inning and allow Post State to get the bats back in their hands and see if they can come back and just start chipping away at this 10-3 Harrisburg lead right now. A lot of ball game left.
Count is now 2-2 to Jack Tigan. We're only going to go to the top of the third inning. A 7-run lead, though, for Harrisburg. 2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball. That could be an 8-run lead, as that one's through on the right side. Gayden will come up. He will fire. The throw coming to the plate, cut off by Gordon. The throw is not going to be in time. The throw to second and back to first will be Tigan. And it's an RBI single for Jack Tigan, and it's now an 11-3 lead here for Post State, or for Harrisburg.
RBI single brings
and that'll bring in Tyson Kogel.
Number 3, Tyson Kogel.
The 11th man to come to the plate now.
Yeah, and really, like, it's no real secret. You really just want to avoid these big innings, and unfortunately for Post State, they've given up back-to-back big innings now, given up 4 in the first and now 7 in the second.
The first pitch to Kogel is over for strike 1. A delayed steal. The throw to second, and safely at second is Tigan. And Post State, the unfortunate part, going down by 8. They almost seem to be starting to sleepwalk through the rest of this ball game, and that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, and just like you said, allowed Tigan to get a late start off of first.
There's a fly ball down the right field side, and A.J. Gayden can't make the catch. And the count is now 0-2 here to Tyson Kogel. And Post State was inches away from getting out of that inning. You got to expect 2 here with that trying to battle the sun. It's been a tough inning for A.J. Gayden out in right field.
Yeah, and it's, again, you just, for all the breaks that went Post State's way in game number 1 now, all those breaks are coming back to even themselves out in game number 2.
So Kogel will come set from Bennett Dean will come set for the stretch, deliver the 0-2 to Kogel, and that's upstairs for ball 1. And again, 11 men now to come to the plates here in this bottom of the second inning. 7 runs have scored. They've got a productive out in there as well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Upstairs now 2-2. And again, now with this game, the way it is right now, and maybe you say for Bennett Dean as well, you try and limit his pitch count so he's available this weekend and on Thursday and Friday against those 2 South Dakota Class A teams. Maybe not so much Thursday, as the 2-2 is at the letters for strike 3, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the second. 7 runs score in the inning.
Second, and after 2,
on
Harrisburg 11.
4 hits for Harrisburg, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. 2 completes here in Harrisburg. It is an 11-3 win, or 11-3 lead for Harrisburg. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today it's KCCR, and today it's KCCR.com. Andy Gordon will lead things off, 3, 4, and 5 here in the top of the third inning, and Post State's got a lot of work in front of them. Down by 8, 11-3 here in the top of the third. First pitch from Mason over for ball 1 to Andy Gordon. Oh, boy, that looked pretty good. A good first pitch there from Mason, but a better take, apparently, from Andy Gordon. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a line shot. There's a base hit for Andy Gordon. That one's actually going to get to the wall, and Gordon will round first and head for second. He's got himself a leadoff double. As Post State's with a lot of work in front of them. That's a good start to the top of the third. You have a lot more to go, but hey, one batter at a time.
Yeah, there is no 8-run hit in baseball, so you got to start chipping away, and best way to do it is you just start getting base runners. You start getting base runners and put pressure on the defense, put pressure on the hitter, and just try to get yourself into an extended inning, similar to what Harrisburg was able to do in the first 2.
Ground ball to the right side, fielded by Weedy at second. The throw to first is in time, and there's now 1 down, but moving to third is Gordon. And then they'll bring in Cade Hinkle, who walked in his first trip to the plate.
For out number 1, now batting number 25.
Yeah, and again, what you're looking for is it's kind of a combination. I mean, if you need to be aggressive against a pitcher like Mason, who has been sitting in the dugout for about 20 minutes over this last inning. So you kind of wonder if he's able to come out and be efficient and be effective. Although that was a nice curveball that he just threw to Hinkle for strike number 1.
Hinkle drew a walk in his first plate appearance. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It was well behind that one, and it's now 0-2. On deck is Matt Lusk.
Yeah, really after Harrisburg puts up that 7 spot in the second, you really are hoping to come back and put up a crooked number of your own. But Hinkle strikes out looking on 3 pitches, and now there's 2 outs quickly, and so it's up to Matt Lusk to try to keep the inning going and hopefully plate this run for Post State.
Here's Matt Lusk as he'll take ball 1 in the turf. He grounded into a fielder's choice in his first at bat, which ended the inning. It was an unconventional double play that was turned. They got Hinkle out at second, then Iverson out at third. As the 1-0 is missed and is now 2-0. And then Ratsky led off the top of the second with a base hit, which would have made it a 4-0 game if things would have happened the way they did, and Iverson would not have got picked off at third. It would have been a 4-0 lead in that top of the first inning. And Granted, it's 11-3 lead right now, but things could be a lot different if Post State goes up 4-0 instead of only being up 3-0, and there was no double play turn as they count as 3-0 here to Matt Lusk. As the 3-0 is over for strike one, now 3-1. There's a saying that I won't get into, but that's a bunch of what ifs.
Yep.
As the 3-1 from Mason to Lusk, that one will miss, and it's a 2-out walk. And it's now runners at the corners for McGuire Raskey, who is looking for a second hit.
I think Don Meredith used to say on Monday Night Football back in the 70s, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say, but you just decided to say it for me. As McGuire Raskey will look for his second hit of the ball game. The first pitch is upstairs for ball one.
I wondered if that's where you were going on that.
I was going in there, and I guess it's still PG, but as...
Well, it worked in the 70s.
Yeah, that's true. As
the FCC allowed it back then. They ought to allow it now.
Hey, they're a little bit more relaxed now. As the 1-0 is fouled to the first base dugout, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, big at bat here. If Raskey can keep the inning going and hopefully plate a run or with an extra base hit, probably plate two. That would be huge. Start working on this comeback.
Raskey will drive it out to right field. That one's going to get to the right fielder and almost over the head of Rollinger, but he uses his tall frame to make the catch to end the inning here in the top of the third. No runs, one hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. We have played 2.5, 11-3. Harrisburg leads over Pierre. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here is Zeb Weedy to lead things off here in the bottom of the third inning. 2, 3, and 4 for Harrisburg. They lead by 8. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here on this beautiful Tuesday evening as the first pitch is outside. 1-0 to Weedy. Post State won 8-2 in game number 1. So as we talked about, a split is kind of what you're hoping for going into this night, as the 1-0 is fouled out of play and it's even in a ball and a strike. Now there's still plenty of ball game left. Obviously, you got to keep yourself within 10 through the 5th inning, but there's still plenty of time for a comeback here for Post State. But things aren't looking so well for the Eights. You're still going to earn that split, but you feel a little bit more sour about this one kind of getting away from you than you would if that was game 1 and then you won game 2.
Yeah, and like we said, this almost becomes a must-win game for Harrisburg. But they're bringing their horse, they're bringing their ace Mason to pitch game 2, and so that puts them in an advantageous situation. And anytime you have a team who knows that their ace is coming to the hill in a big game, your confidence level goes up. You just play better behind him. You play better defensively. You play better. You're more on top of your game, and so it's no wonder that maybe Harrisburg has rolled out the bats and been a little more aggressive at the plate here in game number 2 than they were in game number 1.
Leadoff walk to Zeb Weedy will bring up Peyton Metzger. Here's the first pitch to him. There's a ground ball that goes off of Gordon. Gordon can stay with it. He'll make the tag of Metzger, and the runner is out going to first. And a good job by Andy Gordon to stay with it. Retire the first man here in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Timon Long.
Catcher number 21.
With a runner at second here and one down.
Yeah, and just like you said, just a good job by Gordon to stay with that hard hit ground ball, and if he fields it cleanly, he maybe has a chance at a double play. But the most important thing is just get the out. And like we said, we're just looking to get outs right now.
Count is 1-0 here to Timon Long, who has been on base twice. He had a 3-run double in the bottom of the second. That one is over at the letters up the outside corner. Now 1-1. So he is 1 for 1, double and 3 runs driven in. He was hit by a pitch in the first and came around to score on the 3-run double by Mason. That one's skied out to left field. That one is back, and that one is going to get out of the ballpark, and it's a 13-3 lead. Second home run of the day for Harrisburg, and make it 5 runs driven in for Timon Long. And it's a 10-run lead here for Harrisburg, 13-3.
Yeah, and just a ball that got left up in the middle of the plate, and Long, as you said, having shared the team lead in home runs with Mason coming into the game, now has put himself in sole possession of the team lead now with 6.
And has put himself in the team lead and runs driven in as well with 5 so far. It's up to 24. And so he is overtaking the team lead. He did that before he hit that 2-run homer. The first pitch to Jack Rayburn is outside for ball 1. So here, Long has reached base all 3 times. Rayburn has reached base the 2 times he's been in the plate. Mason has reached base the 2 times he's been in the plate. And Jack Sutton has reached base the 2 times he's come to the plate. So 4, 5, 6, and 7 have not been retired yet from post 8 here in this ball game, as the count is now 1-1 to Rayburn. And that's another way to not win ball games, as that one's bounced in now 2-1. You allow that 4 through 7 hitters to reach base every single time they come to the plate. Count is 2-1 here to Jack Rayburn.
Yeah, collectively those 4 hitters are 6 for 6 with 10 RBIs right now.
Here's the 2-1. That one is out of play, and it's now 2-2. And again, remember, Post State will play at 11:30 a.m. on Thursday, 10:30 Mountain Time. The first game of the tournament for the Veterans Classic, hosted by Post 22 and Post 320. All games for Post 8 through Saturday will be at the Fitzgerald, as that one's outside now 3-2. They could play at Pete Lean Field on Sunday, depending on where they are positioned in their bracket or in their pool, where they finish in that pool. The championship game is at the Fitzgerald, as the 3-2 misses, and it's a walk with 1 down. I'll bring up Chase Mason.
Rayburn with the 1-out walk.
And for Post State, yeah, they will face Sioux Falls West and Post 22, the 2 South Dakota teams, and they could play Sioux Falls East or Post 320 at some point, if depending on how things play out in that tournament this coming weekend.
Yeah, 12-team tournament split into two 6-team pools. The 6 teams are playing at Fitzgerald. That's where Post 22's home field. That's where Post 8 will be. The other 6 teams over across the parking lot at Post 320's field, Pete Lean Field over there. And so again, it's a nice tournament, the way it's designed, the way it's set up. And so hopefully Post 8 has a good outing out there. But like we talked about last weekend in Humboldt, the 2 most important games are those Class A games against South Dakota teams. So the game against Sioux Falls West on Thursday, and then the game against Post 22 on Friday. Those are the two big games of the weekend.
Which is game 2 and game 4 for the 8s. And like we talked about on last weekend, that you built the rotation around game 3 of the tournament, which was against Sioux Falls East. Now you're building the pitching rotation around game 2 and game 4, and then also kind of potentially kind of saying, okay, we got to make sure we have somebody, because I mean, they're out of the 6 teams on your pool, the 320 shooters and the 22 the Expos, they will be playing each other on Sunday. They don't factor into, I believe that they will factor into your record, but they won't factor into if they would go 5-0, they're not playing the championship.
Correct.
So those are the 2 teams that you'll play. But if you finish wherever you finish at, you could play Sioux Falls East or potentially even Post 320 Stars, as Chase Mason is hit by the pitch, and it's now 1st and 2nd here with 1 down. So then you got to keep yourself available to have 6 pitchers, but those game 2 and game 4, those where you want your top 2 guys to go. That's where you want your rotation to be built around this coming weekend.
Yeah, and again, this is a all hands on deck kind of weekend where you need every available arm possible to be able to roll out at any given moment. And so being able to have a fully stocked pitching staff is going to be important. And there's activity down in the post-8 bullpen. Looks like Will Van Camp down there. Again, he's way down on the far end of down on the left field foul line. But I'm pretty sure that's Will Van Camp getting warm right now.
Count is 2-0 here to Jack Sutton. 2-0 is on the outside edge, and it's now 2-1. 13-3 is their score here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Post State will have 2 cracks at trying to get within 10 to keep the ball game alive, as the 2-1 is over. Now 2-2 with 1 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is number 7 man number 7 man in the order. And again, 4 through 7 have all reached base every time they've come to the plate. 2-2 is fouled back, and it remains at 2-2.
And right now, Dean is at 30. Let me just double check here. This is his 42nd pitch of the night coming up. So if you keep him under that 60 pitch count, like you said, John, he would be available on 2 days rest to come back and pitch Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
As Sutton strikes out swinging, in the first time that someone through the 4 through 7 has been retired. And it's now 2 down, and here is Ethan Rollinger, who has been retired both times he's come to the plate, although he had a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The first pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1.
Coach Brian White had made a mound visit when we were having an extended discussion a couple minutes ago, and looked like kind of an instructional visit, because he looked like he was just kind of doing a little bit of a teaching moment out there, kind of a mechanical adjustment with Dean, some mechanical advice, and so far it looks like maybe it's resonating, because Dean's been able to spot his fastball a little better since that mound visit.
Count is now 0-2 as Rollinger skied that one foul. The 0-2 just getting a piece of it and staying alive, and it remains at 0-2 to the right fielder. Struck out swinging in the 1st inning to end the 1st. He hit a sacrifice fly in the 2nd out towards the right center field. Drove in a run, actually ended up driving in 2 runs after an error. As it's now the 0-2 again. Swing and a miss, and Dean will get back-to-back strikeouts, and that will end the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2 more runs scored in the inning on just 1 hit. No errors, and 2 men left on base. It is a 13-3 lead for Harrisburg over Pierre after 3. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back, it is the top of the 4th inning, and it is 9-1 to A.J. Gaden, followed by Garrett Stout, Lincoln Keenholz. And if anybody reaches base, they'll go to Andrew Coverdale.
Number 21,
As
A.J. Gaden.
Post State, again, has some work in front of them. Down by 10 here in the top of the 4th. They can't afford a 0 in this 4th inning and keep the ball game alive. But if you're looking to try and make this a competitive game and find yourself with a chance down the stretch here in this ball game, you can't go with a 0. You have to score a couple of runs. You got to go with the crooked number here in this top of the 4th inning, as the 0-1 pitch to Gaden is a swing and a miss, and it's now 0-2.
Yeah, you got to start generating a little momentum, and start turning things a little bit. Harrisburg has put runs up on the board in each of the first 3 innings, put multiple runs up on the board in each of the first 3 innings. So if Post State's going to respond, they're going to have to do it pretty quickly.
0-2 is outside, now 1-2. As Mason, again, with them not playing another South Dakota team until next week, Tuesday, it doesn't matter if, you can let Mason go all 105 pitches, as that one's popped up to second baseman Weedy, he'll make the catch, and there's one down. And not because, in a 10-run lead right now, you can say, well, we'll lift him and give him a little bit of a rest. Well, you can have him rest in any game that you might play here from now until Tuesday and have him ready to go by Tuesday because, well, it's 7 days from now, not just 2 or 3 days from now. Stout will show bunt, pulls it back, and take in strike one. As Stout is 1 for 2 here in the ball game.
Yeah, and good matchup here between Chase Mason, who multiple sport athlete, probably will have multiple collegiate offers to play both football and baseball, as well as he's got a number of scouts here in the audience tonight looking at him, and then Stout, the SDSU baseball commit, will be a Jackrabbit starting this fall. So a good matchup here at Harrisburg on the baseball field right now.
Count is 2-1. Next pitch, that one will miss, and that's now 3-1 to Stout. Looking to reach base here for the second time in the ball game to bring up Lincoln Keenels with one down. Here's a 3-1. Stout will line it into center field for a base hit. He is now 2 for 3. And I'll bring in Lincoln Keenels.
Stout with the 1-out single brings up.
Stout wins that battle of young men who are going on to play at the next level at some time.
At some time. The good. I don't even know the word I'm looking for now.
I left you dumbfounded.
You left me speechless. The first pitch.
That doesn't happen.
It's taken for a strike one. I'll just ask my parents. I don't have it very much.
Well, that'll probably elicit a text from your dad here pretty soon.
At this point, well, it's getting close to his bed. Well, no, not too close to his bedtime. It's past my mom's bedtime, though. Diving back in safely at first, so we still have a baseball game going on at Stout. Here, Mason will come set and deliver the 0-1 pitch to Lincoln Keenels. That one will go off the end of the bat right back to Mason. He'll throw to second for one, back to first, and that one will be not scooped out by the first base. I don't think it's going to be in time anyway by Sutton. And so it goes as a fielder's choice, as that was a rare ball off the bat that was off the handle that went into fielder into fair territory.
Yeah, I'm not too sure it didn't go off the knob of the bat the way that Keenholz turned and where the ball came in at. I mean, it almost looked like maybe just hit below the hands.
First pitch to Coverdale, he'll sky that one foul out of play, and it's 0-1. So Keenel's on at first for the second time in the ball game. He is 0 for 2, though. Coverdale is 0 for 1. He walked, came around to score part of that 3-run inning for Post State in the top of the first inning. The 0-1 is a curveball that catches the outside corner, now 0-2. Post State, they led 3-0 in this ball game. They now trail 13-3.
Yeah, Harrisburg has rattled off 13 unanswered runs here in the first through the third innings.
Coverdale will sky this foul, and that will end up getting out of play. And it remains at 0-2.
And just a nice addition for Post State to have Andrew Coverdale back in the lineup after he spent Saturday with his guard unit on their drill weekend, and just having his presence back in the lineup, especially having his bat back in the lineup, is a huge addition for Post State, and it'll be good to have him down the stretch.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Curveball that stays upstairs, now 1-2. Yeah, Post State, and I think everybody on the team would agree that they're a much better team with Andrew Coverdale in the lineup than without. 1-2, checks his swing, does not go, and it's now 2-2. And that's not even just him, whether he's hitting or not. They're just a much better team. The leadership that he has and the calmness that he has is a big presence for this Post State team. Pickoff attempt back in safely is Keenels again at first. 2-2 is the count to Coverdale. Here with 2 down in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Is it's just a quiet presence, just a leadership by example that Coverdale shows, and having him there, and it's pretty easy for Coach White when he's making out the lineup every day to put Stout at the top and put Coverdale into the third spot in the lineup.
Coverdale does take strike 3, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played 3.5, 13-3. Harrisburg leads over Pierre. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Will Van Camp is on the mound to pitch here for Post-State in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now Bennett Dean is available to pitch on a Friday. Actually, I think he's able to come back and pitch even Thursday.
Well, Friday.
Okay.
Because today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday,
okay,
the rest day, so he could come back and pitch Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
So that, and I would think here with Will Van Camp that you try and keep him under a pitch count as well, so he can be available for the latter part of the weekend. As the first pitch is taken for ball 1 to the number 9 hitter, Jack Tigan. And, of course, as long as Van Camp has somewhat of a quick inning, and I say that somewhat of a quick inning, just not like a 60-pitch inning, as there's a ground ball to the right side. That's through for a base hit, and the leadoff man is aboard.
Tigan
and
on the 4th with a single.
Tyson Kogel will be
number 3, Tyson Kogel.
the next man to come to the plate. Post-State has got to score the 5th inning at some point, whether it's 1 run to keep the game alive or if Harrisburg extends their 10-run lead, we'll have to match that to the point of scoring more than at least one more than what Harrisburg scores here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as the first pitch to Kogel is outside for ball 1. The good thing is, if Post-State does lose in a 10-run rule game, it doesn't. The seat points are the same in a 1-run loss or in a 100-run loss. The 1-0 is at the letters now 1-1. So that's the good news in terms of a loss is a loss, no matter how bad or how close it is.
And again, we're talking about trying to hoping that Post-State ends up somewhere in the top 4 seeds. What they do then is then you're assured of hosting the first round of the playoffs, and then you're assured of hosting the second round if you get through that far. And so this is a team that throughout the year has played better at home than it has on the road. And so if you can assure yourself and stay in that top 4, just give yourself an opportunity to play those home games in front of the home crowd, in front of the friendly confines of Hyde Stadium. You just put yourself in a much better situation to potentially advance to the state tournament.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one will miss. It's a walk to Kogel, and it's now first and second as Zeb Weedy will step to the plate. He is 1 for 2.
Number 20, Zeb Weedy.
Also with a walk. Looking to get out of this without allowing a run is Will Van Camp, but he's got first and second here with nobody out. Would give Post-State just needing 1 run to keep the ball game alive in the 5th inning. The first pitch is taken for strike 1.
And again, if you look at the up and down this Post-State lineup, I mehave there's not very many young men on this roster who don't pitch, and so you've got the potential to have a lot of arms available this weekend.
Matt Lusk will come up throwing as a base hit. That one will go off the glove of Gordon on the cutoff attempts, and instead it will be bases loaded now with the second single of the game for Weedy. And here's Peyton Metzger. Metzger is 0 for 2 so far. He walked and came around to score. And this is a big spot here for Harrisburg to extend their 10-run lead and give insurance to Chase Mason. First pitch is over for strike one by Will Van Camp. You do have some action in the bullpen down for Post State. Can't see who that might be. As the 0-1 pitch is over outside for ball one.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who it is, and I can't quite get. It almost looks like maybe it's Justin Houlette, but
that's what I was thinking. But I also thought that earlier, and I was wrong. The 1-1 pitch is at the knees, not 1-2. So you can't trust my vision.
Well, you got glasses, so
that only helps out somewhat. That helps me be somewhat being able to. That's usually just for driving.
Yeah.
The 1-2 pitch is just outside now, 2-2. Now
as I take my reading glasses off.
now everybody, as they drive by me here and back in Pierre, they're all going to be very scared to drive by me. You're going to see the KCCR Durango, and they're going to go the other way. The 2-2 pitch, there's a ground ball up the middle, and a play by Coverdale. Couldn't feel it cleanly, couldn't flip it over to Stout, and instead it will be a infield single and a run scoring for Harrisburg, and it's now 14-3.
Yeah, and good effort by Coverdale on a ball hit up the middle, and he almost was able to make a pretty athletic play and was able to backhand the ball and just ran out of time, and he really, his only play was to try to glove the ball and just shuffle it up to Stout, but wasn't able to do it.
As Gaden will make the catch out in right field, both runners, 2 of the 3 runners will tag, and one will come in to score as Timon Long has a sacrifice fly, and it's now a 15-3 lead here for Harrisburg. And it's first and third with one down in the bottom of the fourth, and here's Jack Rayburn, who is 1 for 1. He's walked twice. He singled home a run back in the second inning. And it's now a 12-run lead for Harrisburg, which means for Post State they need at least 3 in the top of the 5th inning to get the ball game going. One down here in the bottom of the 4th. Will Van Camp comes from the stretch. Here's the first pitch. That one's fouled away, and it's 0-1. Haven't had the lights turned on yet here in Harrisburg. As we get close to 8:48 Central Time, local time is.
Yeah, the lights are not on here at the main field. It looks like on a couple of the side fields where the Little League kids are playing, it looks like there are lights on at least one of those fields.
That was a line shot almost right back at Will Van Camp, and that will get down for a base hit. And another run will score it, 16-3. And his first and second, his second RBI single of the game for Jack Rayburn. And here is Chase Mason. Mason had a 3 RBI double in the bottom of the first inning that tied the ball game up. Sutton gave Harrisburg the 4-3 lead, and it has been all Harrisburg since then. 16 unanswered runs in this ball game as they lead 16-3. The first pitch is upstairs for ball one. It all looks like this will be a split of a doubleheader between Post State and Harrisburg. And being on the road, Post State will maybe not so much take how the second game went, as Mason will launch this one out to right field. And is it going to stay fair? Is it going to get foul? It is foul ball. That was a Harry Carey. If it's fair, it's gone. That's just foul.
Yeah, and that was a no doubter. That was a ball that from the time it left the bat, you knew it was going to be gone. It was just a question of whether it was going to be fair or foul. And luckily for Post State, it hooked foul.
Van Camp will come set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Mason will ground it down the first baseline, and it's now 1-2.
Mason wanted to get back into a tie for the home run lead with Timon Long. 26
home runs on the season for Harrisburg. 6 for Long, 5 for Mason. Kogel's got the other one here today. He now has 5. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Mason started to go, checks his swing. No appeal to the field umpire, and it's now 2-2. Mason is one for one the ball game. He's been hit by a pitch twice. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's skied out towards left center field. River Iverson will go over to make the catch. Actually, that's Elliott Life out in left field. He'll make the catch, and there's now 2 down.
Mason flies out for out number 2.
That'll bring
now
up
batting,
Jack
number
Sutton.
9, Jack Sutton.
Sutton's 2 for 3 with a double and a single. So, yeah, double and a single with a RBI to his credit. So Elliott Life is in River Iverson's spot, which is due up second. Looks like that was the only position change as the first pitch misses inside for ball 1. Maybe you could see someone hit for Andy Gordon. Maybe you probably wouldn't see anybody hit for Cade Hinkle. That one's skied out for center field now. Coming in is Matt Lusk. He will call for it. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. 3 more runs score in the inning
16, Pierre, 3.
on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So we have played 4 complete. Post State needs a 4 spot in the 5th inning to keep the ball game alive. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Jace Lucas is on the mound here for Harrisburg to try and close this one out. Andy Gordon, Elliott Life, and Cade Hinkle, the first 3 hitters that he will face. Just needing to keep Post State from a 4 spot here in the 5th inning to finish out the ball game.
Off top of the 5th for Pierre, number 20, Andy Gordon.
Andy Gordon is 2 for 2 so far with a single and a double. River Iverson finished the game going 1 for 2. Here is the first pitch to Gordon upstairs for ball 1. Looking for his 3rd hit of the ball game. He gave Post State a 1-0 lead. Ended up being 3-0 after the top of the 1st. And then it was 16 unanswered runs from Harrisburg. And they lead it here by 13 with a 2-0 count to Gordon. Here to open up the top of the 5th inning. And Chase Lucas looking to just get 3 outs. That one misses inside, and it's now 3-0. Lucas has thrown 9 2/3 innings. His ERA is 4.34, a whip of 1.44. He's given up 11 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned. As now his 4th walk that he has issued on the season, as Gordon walks on 4 pitches. He does not have a record. This is his 6th appearance of the season. As they'll bring in Elliott Life for the first time here in this ball game and today.
Yeah, Elliott Life on to play, like you'd said a little earlier, on to play left field and in place of River Iverson for Elliott. This is his 11th game of the season. He has 4 hits and 18 at bats, all of them singles to go with 3 walks and that .222 batting average.
The 0-1's cut on and miss, and it's now 0-2 to the left fielder, Elliott Life. Lucas will come set. Here is the 0-2 pitch. That one will miss, and it's now 1-2. Life led the team in goals for the Hawaii Capitals this past season in the regular season for Oahe, and will be a guy that will be heavily leaned on to score be the goal scoring leader again, as it's now 2-2.
As will the guy just ahead of him in the order, Andy Gordon, now standing at first base. Also will be a key and integral part of the Capital lineup.
2-2 pitch, swing and miss, and life goes down on strikes. And there's one down without bringing Cade Hinkle.
It was I was traveling someplace. I had to be in Pierre or someplace in the last couple of days, and I thought of you, John, because I was following a vehicle that had a St. Louis Blues and St. Louis Cardinals logo meshed together. So actually, I think it was when we were coming back from Humboldt the other night. I was down on the interstate.
Really?
Now that I think about it, yeah. So
Oh.
It was obviously a sticker in the back window that you don't see very often around these parts. So.
Right. And I wish I could meet that person and probably be pretty good friends with them. 2-0's the count to Cade Hinkle. That was upstairs, 3-0. And it's there's few and far between Blues and Cardinals fans. Well, there's some good Cardinals fans around here. 3-0 pitch. That one's over for strike one. Unfortunately, there's quite a few Cubs fans, which I still don't understand. Never will. Like Ryan Kruger, Sean Lewis, those guys, I can't understand why they're Cubs fans. 3-1 pitch. That one's popped up. And going back on it is the shortstop as he's still back. Does not make the catch, but he's going to underhand flip it to second base. And there's now 2 down as Gordon is retired and Hinkle is on at first on the fielder's choice.
Gordon is forced out at second for out.
Yeah, just a high fly ball into short center field. Shortstop goes back on it. Couldn't make the play, and for Andy Gordon, I mean, you're just hung up. You're really in no man's land, because if you go too close to second base, you end up potentially being doubled off of first. If you stay close to first, what just happened is exactly what happens. He gets retired at second base on the flip from the shortstop to the second baseman.
Lucas will come set from the stretch. Here's the 0-1 to Matt Lusk. Taking second will be Hinkle, as they're just going to let him steal. Let him take it on the catcher's indifference, and it's now 1-1 to Matt Lusk. With a 13-run lead, and no reason to do anything for Hinkle. Nice play over there by the third base coach and Brian White, and it's now 1-2. So he makes the play over at third, and maybe giving a little bit of a lesson to the guys in the dugout over at third base for Post State. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Lucas to Lusk. There's a line shot. That one's through, actually caught by the third baseman. Wow, and what a great play there by Metzger to make the catch. And that will retire the side and end the ball game here in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 3.
It is a 16-3 win for Harrisburg over here in game number 2. Step aside for 2 minutes. Back with the post game. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Harrisburg, you're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. 16-3 final score for Harrisburg in Game 2. It's a split 8-2 win for Post State, 16-3 win for Harrisburg. And Greg, you won. I mean, split was what you kind of were hoping for going in. It's just that in Game 2, you were kind of hoping this wasn't the case of how this game played out in this second game.
Yeah, and that's, you had a little hope coming out of game number 1 that maybe the break could keep going Post State's way, and that they could come out of here with a sweep, which really would have set them up nicely for the rest of the season and set them up nicely in the postseason seed point standings. But wasn't meant to be today. They did come out of here with a split, which I think was probably mission number 1, and I think, again, for a team that probably does play better at home than it does on the road, if you can come down and get a split with Harrisburg, who sits number 5 in the postseason standings, that's not a bad deal. And so now you turn your attention, very quickly to Thursday. Again, lead off at 11:30 Central Time against the Post 320 Junior Legion team, and then you follow that up with an all-important game against Sioux Falls West, who right now I think is seeded 11th, if I'm not.
Yes,
11th. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's a big game against Sioux Falls West. Obviously, they're all big games, but those game against Sioux Falls West and then the game Friday night against the Rapid City Post 22 Hard Hats are the two biggest games of that tournament, outside of potentially playing a South Dakota Class A team on Sunday. That would be the third biggest game of the tournament there. But for Post State, it got the accomplish of splitting on the road, and as you said, being a much better team at home. That's where you were hoping to have a sweep against Harrisburg. Obviously, you're not playing them at home, but if you do have to go play them at home or play them in the super region, being at home against them would be so much better than having to be out here for that best of 3.
Yeah, and again, if you can, if you can just continue to win the games that you need to win, and just ideally what you'd really like to do is just win out. I mean, that's ideally what you'd like to do. It's going to be ideally right now. You look at the way the rest of the schedule sits up. Sioux Falls West is a game you probably need to win. Post 22, obviously, if you could win that one, that would be huge. And then you win the 2 games against Spearfish, and if you can win out, you set yourself probably in probably almost with any kind of luck, probably do land in the top 4.
Yep, and that's what that kind of pretty much the ultimate goal right now is to be in that top 4 here for Post State going into the playoffs here in just about a week and a half. Again, on Thursday, we will be on the air right around 11:15 Central Time for 11:30 start Central Time. Again, 10:30 is a Mountain Time start, and then opens up the day, so we will be on schedule to start the first game of the day on Thursday, as we'll have that on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. We'll have all the games here this coming weekend for you on our Riverfront Broadcasting stations. For Greg Dean to my right, Jacob Mayer back at the station, I'm John Winkler. We will be back on the air on Thursday at 11:15 as Post State will take on the Post 320 Shooters. Here tonight, Post State, they win game 1 8-2. They lose game 2 16-3 as we say goodnight from Harrisburg.